Hi, everyone. So good to see all of you here today. We're going to wait for a couple of minutes for everybody else to join in and settle down. But in the meanwhile, I would request all of you to introduce yourself, use this as an opportunity to network with one another. Please use the chat box to talk about yourself, tell us and each other about what you deal in, what your business is about, and of course, how one can reach out to you. You could share your GlobalLinker profile as well. A very warm welcome to all of you. So the way we'll do this session is that we will start the session sharp at 4:05, just allowing a couple of more members to join in and settle down. But like I said, please use this opportunity to network with one another. We have seen in the past that a lot of value add and value creation has happened during these couple of minutes, where let's say a buyer meets a supplier and a distributor meets a manufacturer. So please make the most of it. I'd like to see, first of all, to see if the chat is working, which means any of you can say hi to us. And to be honest, we kind of need to keep this session as interactive as possible so that all of you can make the most of it. So I'm waiting to see. Okay, that Nile has done the needful. Great. So now, hi everyone. So I'm okay. Going to wait now again to see that all of you introduce yourself as well. Please share where somebody can reach out to you, what your business deals in as well. We have about 3 minutes more to get started, but the format of the session is that once we start at 4:05, we have our esteemed speaker already ready to start interacting with you. His name is Mr. Vicky Jain. But let me tell you a little about why we have put this series together. So this is part of an initiative called GlobalLinker Growth Talks, which basically is bringing together the forces of industry specialists, of domain experts, so that they can share practical knowledge, tips with all of you here, business owners. And we do this in a series of growth-focused webinars. So each webinar is ideally a catalyst for business growth by presenting to you actionable insights in a crisp, meaningful, and interactive format. When I say interactive, we will have a detailed Q&A session towards the end of the topic as well. So please do stay tuned for getting all your queries resolved. Okay, I can see a lot of new participants, new faces. Great. So in the meanwhile, before we get started, let me just tell you a little about our speaker today. Vicky Jain is one of the founders of Unova, which is a cloud-based HRM software that actually happens to be the brainchild of Convergence IT Services. He has played an active role in the development of this software, which provides a 360-degree solution for HR automation and people management. In December 2009, he was also conferred the prestigious Bharat Gaurav Award in New Delhi. And he claims that his love for reading has shaped his ideologies towards really leadership. So I'm going to welcome him, and he's here with us. But hi, Vicky.
Hi, Malvika.
Hi. So our audience today is very excited to see you, have you, and definitely hear from you as well. Like I mentioned before, the way we'll do it is that in the next minute or so, you can get started, where you can take our audience through why HRMS or how it can really benefit their business operations. How can it possibly reduce costs? How can it improve efficiency? So that's what they really want to hear. And towards the end of the session, for all our audience, I'm going to tell you all already that there is an offer by Unova on GlobalLinker, which is that all of you can the first 20 members in your organization can use the Unova service absolutely free of cost on GlobalLinker, which means your entire payroll can be managed right from biometrics as well. We also do that at our organization where we log in, log out. We see all our leaves, our attendance, everything is there. It's a wholesome platform for you. So stay tuned to actually understand how you can avail of that benefit. And over to you, Vicky. It's now 4:05. Again, a very warm welcome to you. For all the participants who've joined in newly, Vicky is the co-founder of Unova, which is a cloud-based HRM software, and it happens to be the brainchild of Convergence IT Services. So a very warm welcome to you, and we're all eager now.
Thank you, Malvika, and a very good evening to all the people who have joined in. Thank you for taking out time for this webinar. I'm Vicky Jain from Unova HRMS, and I'll be taking you through. I'll be covering a few points like how HR has evolved, and probably what might be the what was the past, what is the present, what is the future, and why you should actually invest in HR, and this is the right time, so that you can not only just get financial benefits but also strategic benefits out of it. So I have compiled a short deck. I just like to present it and take this discussion forward. I hope you are able to see the screen.
Yes, it is visible.
All right, great. So first, let me tell you about the evolution of HR. I'm sure today everyone in all the organization, you would be understanding what HR does. Many people consider it as a department where you can which is responsible for hiring, for managing the payroll, managing employees, their onboarding, exit, etc., etc. But let me tell you, just go a little back in time and how and tell you about how HR has evolved. In the 1890s to 1930, which is during the Industrial Revolution, people used to call this a welfare department, and HR managers were actually called welfare officers. Their major task was just to ensure employee relations. Not much of and the organizational scope was very limited, and it was completely operational in nature. Then it was retermed as labor managers when unions came into picture. So managing those unions and then handling the grievances was one of the key responsibilities of HR. Then it again was termed as personnel management. And if you see the organizational scope kept on increasing. So what do I mean by organizational scope is more strategic involvement of HR in business. So in the personnel management era, it was more of managing employee data, their payroll, then obviously industry relations, and so on. Then came the need for then it evolved it as an HR management system, a holistic HR management system, which is not just responsible for your employee relations, but also responsible for their development, their training, etc., etc. And future, what we see is probably and that is what we are already seeing. HR is becoming more and more strategic rather than operational. So now people are having or terming HR BPs or HR business partners, because they are actually contributing towards business and not just operations. It's no longer a support function. It's more of a strategic role, and going forward also it will be more of more concentrated towards that, because a lot of automation has come in for managing the operational tasks or the mundane tasks. Right, so that's a quick overview of how HR as a function has evolved over the last century or decades. Right. Now, in today's world, if I were to tell you what are the four major things, or if I just divide the tasks or key responsibilities of HR, I can actually divide it into four main quadrants. So one is talent management, which you're seeing over here. Then it is about talent acquisition, talent development, talent engagement. Now, engagement being fairly new and is highly practiced in organizations which are at a very much mature level compared to traditional organizations. Now, what is talent management? Talent management in a nutshell is probably the same personnel department which was there in the three or four decades ago. So it involves managing your employee data, then managing leave, attendance, which these days is completely digitized. If you have digitized your talent management part, you need not actually you can actually go completely paperless. You will have complete automation in terms of issuing offers, managing leave, attendance, even managing employee data, generating payroll claims, and so on. So if you have a decent HRIS system in place, you actually need not put any human effort in managing your talent these days because of the technology which is already available. Talent acquisition is about hiring. Hiring the right candidate, ensuring better manpower planning is done pre-onboard, giving them a very seamless experience, whoever is going to join your organization. So that's about hiring. Then talent development involves developing your talent further, so that with the same set of people, how can you double your output? Be it a manufacturing unit, can I actually have with the same set of laborers and give them a better training so that they can output 2x or 3x in terms of final output, which obviously will increase my gross margins as well. So this part of HR involves learning and development. Then there are performance management, and reviewing how your current how currently your people are doing and how you can improve them further and train them well. Then comes which is very the latest in the list is talent engagement, which is something very interesting, and post COVID, it has become like a need of the hour for many organizations which are majorly employee centric, or I would say white collared in nature. So this involves engaging with your talent at regular intervals, so that running NPS, Net Promoter Score surveys, kind of keeping a track on their happiness meter, or their index, how well are they finding it good to work with you or not, are they stressed out, and so on. Employee well-being, which is something which is practiced a lot, and because the focus is now shifted from an employer to employee. In the early days, like 40-50 years ago, it was an employer driven system. Okay, the policies, whatever the employer decides, it is going to happen in that way. But now the focus is more and more shifting towards employees, because they now form important. They have a very strategic role to play rather than operational role to play. So this is how I would say is the current paradigm of how what areas is HR as a function touching. Right now, I'll also like to give you another lens to if you are an HR or you are an organization owner, you could probably put yourself kind of measure your people capability or people capability maturity at various levels. So if you are an organization who is completely manual in terms of managing your HR, that means you are actually issuing offers manually through maybe a template in Word document, and generating payroll on say Excel, and then giving pay slips manually. You are at level one, which is the initial level, wherein I would consider it as mismanaged practices. There's no operational or no automation at all. Now, if you want to go to the next level, Now, this I am talking about not just in terms of people capability maturity, but when you move up the ladder, your people capability obviously improves, and thereby your internal operations would improve, thereby reducing your or increasing your gross margins and reducing a lot of operational activities that you would be doing. And your it will eventually give the benefit of a better brand. So if I say, okay, people or no, maybe the Deloitte or EY are probably at the level 5, because they are concentrating now on capability management, skill development, etc., rather than people management and kind of automating mundane HR tasks. So if you kind of if you want to measure your capabilities in terms of HR, how you're doing, this is a very good measure of doing. And this study was done by Carnegie Mellon University, and they termed this as a PCMM maturity framework, which is called People Capability Maturity Model. And that's the framework. So what they had done is just divided and kind of plotted organizations on the basis of their current processes to different levels, and each level indicated how well you are prepared for the next jump in terms of people management as well as a company. So level 1 was completely mismanaged, with no level 1 companies were with completely manual in nature. Level 2 were at least having something for the talent management piece. Now, once you have that, you will get for the next ladder, you will probably enter into an orbit where you will be interested in doing better competency management and team management and capability management and so on, and climb up the ladder. As in, when you climb up the ladder, your HR becomes more and more strategic rather than operational, and it will help you become a better organization for sure. If you want to actually calculate your or see where you are currently, at which level you are, you can actually go to this. We created a small tool which is called HR calculator, which can help you. It will just ask you a few questions and tell you at what level you are currently. Right. So that is about people capability and the PCMM framework. Now, coming to what are the benefits? Why should I invest in HR? How does it help me as an organization, as an HR, or if you might be a CEO of an organization, you might be an HR of an organization. What are the value it creates for you? So any HRI, HR automation, there are multiple tools that you can use for your HR automation. Our tool being one. Most of the tool comes with these set of features wherein you can automate and digitize your leave and attendance management, such that people can you need not manage leaves on Excel. People can use their phones to punch in, punch out. You can have offers generated with a click of a button, payroll expense management. All of this are features. But what are the benefits? What is the final value that an organization actually gains by doing all of this automation? Is this so? By doing this automation, one most important value that you generate is increase in employee productivity and efficiency. So with the same set of people, so in earlier days when there were no systems, the average HR person to employee ratio was approximately 1:20. That means for 20 people, you would probably hire one HR folk to manage all the compliance load, managing the payroll, their onboarding, etc., etc. So that means if you're a 200 people company, you might have a 20 people HR team also. But if you are having a good HRI system in place, you can actually manage this with just 2 people as well. So that is what I would say productivity or efficiency. The definition of productivity is what output upon input. So output is the same set of HR process, but now the input is just 2 people salary rather than 20 people salary for managing HR. So that's how your gross margins would increase as a business owner. If I talk in finance terms, you are now spending less on support functions, so obviously your margins are going to increase. Which obviously results, the other value it creates is it reduces the business costs. You are going paperless, you are automating stuff, you are having less people to manage, and also you kind of standardizing everything. And standardization is the first step towards scaling. You might be a 10 people company today, but once you become like 100 people company, it's very difficult to manage manual payroll, manual offers, etc. And if you have a system in place, this will obviously create automation, standardization, and improve your business costs as well. You will have a good, once you have a system in place, the biggest advantage of having systems in place is inducing discipline into the organization. So like an HR discipline, I would say discipline is about ensuring people actually punch in, when they are supposed to do, before the shift time, ensuring people, if there are certain contracts or agreements to be signed before the employment, or ensuring you have signed the appointment letter, you have accepted the offer. These are all organizational disciplines. uh, early days, this was the task of the personnel manager to ensure your data is collected, you have signed the required documents, the employer agreements, the non-disclosures, etc. But now you can actually have it done from the system, so that someone logs in from their phone, they can upload these documents, accept or acknowledge to these policies, and so on, because these are all part of your audit also, which might come when you scale further. So if you are a 20 people company, it doesn't make any difference. But when you go from a 20 to a 100 people company, and you are planning to do an ISO certification, or you are planning to do a SOC 2 certification, or any kind of such certification, PCI certification, and all of this will be needed. The audit will actually audit your HR processes, policies, your, how well are you maintaining the records of compliances or payroll, attendance, employee data, agreements, etc. So all of this helps you actually create a very important value, is in having an organizational discipline in place, such that whoever has joined in, your attendance is getting marked. You are actually capturing their, managing their leaves, giving them the required leaves as per policy, and ensuring no one kind of goes beyond a particular, beyond the rules. So that's where I call this as organizational, so these kind of systems help you implement a better organizational discipline. I also help you communicate well with the people. So earlier days, they were when you want to communicate to someone, you would have to send the letters, and maybe put it on the notice board in the factory or in the office, and so on. These days, it is about sending out a mass mailer or putting it on virtually on the system like a notice board, such that a mass emailer to the people also follows. uh, Another important thing, which is something I would say, it's an abstract thing which you cannot actually see, but a system like an HRMS system generates for you, is it creates an increased internal brand value. So your employees are going to be your first brand ambassadors, rather than any other brand ambassador that you might sign in, or your customers. Before customers, also employees are the ones who are your brand ambassadors. And it is very important to ensure they feel right about you, they feel good about what they're doing, and feel kind of inclusive in nature. So if you give them the right systems with the right user experience, obviously their internal brand value also increases, or your their perception of your brand increases. So that is also one very important value that the system creates for you as an employer. And that's where I was saying, I was just stressing about what are the features, or what are the benefits of having an HRIS system in place. These are the benefits, and ultimately these are the four values that are generated, or created by having an HRMS system in place. So I'll move on to the next slide. Now, I've already spoken about what are the benefits, what are the values, what are the four pillars. I'll just touch upon a few modules or few features that you should look at having in your HRIS, whatever you choose for your HR automation. One important thing is you should actually have a good recruitment and onboarding process, your HRIS should support for it. That means it should actually be able to help you source candidates, shortlist, do interviews, even release offers, and have a very, very seamless journey. So ensure you have a good recruitment and onboarding system in place, which allows you to manage your entire candidate life cycle or the job recruitment life cycle, wherein you are able to create job positions, then people are able to apply to those positions, maybe through your website or your careers page, and then you can track their entire candidate journey, schedule interviews, and also do generate offers from the system and do KYCs. If you are in a NBFC kind of a setup, this becomes really important. Having background checks and doing KYC for the candidates. KYC is basically knowing your candidate. So basically, getting their data upfront before even you release an offer. Like for example, getting their address proof or say past pay slips, etc. And these are all audit documents that you would need. So this is one feature that you should actually look for whenever you are looking to automate your or onboarding any HRIS system. And of course, then comes the core HR activities. The system should help you, should allow you to kind of automate all of this and go paperless. Most important. Earlier, in earlier many organizations, people used to have a complete floor for managing employee data and files and all, but these days everything is going digital, and you should actually look for systems that can help you completely digitize your HR data and make it paperless. Of course, it should be able to manage your entire employee life cycle as well. So employee life cycle starts from employee code creation till resignation. So this includes managing the employee data, managing their leaves, attendance, then payroll, and then exit also. So if someone has resigned, as per law, you have to actually keep a record of that with the resignation reason and the last working date. Many companies also go for one step further and capture exit interviews and do exit clearances from the system, so that tomorrow if an audit comes in and it has been asked, "Hey, tell me the number of people who have absconded," because this is an important point while doing audits, or who were fired for conduct and all. So all of this will be available once you have this core HR also in place through your HRIS. Of course, it should be able to track and trace leaves. So as per again, every state and every country also have different types of leave policy setups. And as per law, you have to give certain set of leaves, to your employees at a regular interval, like sick leaves in Maharashtra, around you have to give them like sick leaves, and then some casual leaves. In Karnataka it might be a little different, but you should have a system that can automate this entire stuff, such that whenever you onboard a person on the basis of the state, or as per the policy, the leaves are allocated. Whenever he exits, there is encashment. There is if the person is no at the end of the year, the policy says that there should be certain leaves cannot be carried forward, there certain can be carried forward. So all of this should get automated, so that you do not spend much time on your managing all of this in Excels. Many organizations these days have actually started moving from a physical biometric to a virtual biometric system, which allows you to punch in from your phone. Basically, many people call it geo-based attendance tracking, or location-based attendance tracking. And many solutions, including ours as well, which allows you to do that, and you can geo-fence certain areas, so that you can completely kill the physical biometrics in this case. And this is very good for the people who are on feet on street types, wherein users can just open their phone. I'm a sales team member. I can just open the phone, punch in, go to a location wherever I'm working. I can punch in and punch out, and you get to know the locations as well, and you can plot in on a overall map. so that as a manager you can also see what is happening as on date, right? uh, this is also something interesting, which along with, since there is so much of digitization in technology and people can mark attendance from their phone, you can also start capturing people mood and happiness index or happiness insights of people through these tools, or through your HRMS app itself, which will give you a net promoter score, which is a very important ingredient to get an idea about how well are you doing as an organization in terms of your employee well-being. So this is also something very interesting you can look for. Payroll management, of course, managing your entire salary, generating pay slips, and of course doing the compliance management, which is ensuring you are deducting the right profession tax, you're deducting the right PF, ESIC, TDS, etc. for users. You may be a 10 people company, or you may be a 100 people company, or 1,000 people company. Compliances are the same across organizations, and you need to ensure your HRMS helps you do a error-free payroll management as well. Uh, then expense management also you should look for, which is this is about claims, reimbursements, taking loans and advances, wherein you can actually upload if you travel from one place to another, and you want to just take back the claim, you can put it as a reimbursement. Now this is also very important process that you should digitize uh, for audit purposes, if you are looking for the next going from the level 1 to level 2 to level 3, because again this becomes an audit requirement. And also, as per compliances, if you are giving your employees reimbursements as a part of salary, you have to collect their proofs, and if an audit, a government audit comes in, they will look for all of these things, and proofs, and it should be in place, else it can actually attract a good amount of penalty as well. So expense management is about that, wherein you are tracking all the expenses, claims, reimbursements, and ensuring the proofs are there in the system in a digitized way, and go paperless, right? Then exit management you should look for. So exit management includes employee separation. As I said, as per law also, you have to ensure you are capturing the last dates of employees and the reason they are leaving. Are they absconding? Were they fired, or they moved on for a particular reason? Uh, all of this you can actually do it from the system, and kind of digitize it in the system itself. And post exit, there are FNF calculations and disbursement that also you should look at automating from your HRIS system. You can also go one step ahead and capture exit interviews, wherein you can ask certain set of questions, which will basically give you an idea about why did the employee leave, what are the areas of improvement, what was his inputs on, how was his relationship with the manager, and so on. So you can actually capture all of this for improving your internal policies or your internal systems, or it's like a feedback loop for yourself. Now uh, even you can have exit clearances done from the organization, which also becomes a very important thing from an audit perspective, when you are applying for like ISO audits or SOC 2 audits, wherein you have to ensure you have given clearances. Each exiting employee has got clearances from various departments. For example, the IT department has to confirm that they have taken back the assets which were given to this user. Maybe the admin department has to confirm that his access has been revoked, the ID card has been taken back. Finance team has to confirm there is no outstanding loan or advance on this user's account, and so on. So all of this is part of exit clearance, I would say. And you should look at actually automating this also through your offboarding process or the exit process in your HRIS. And of course, all of this data is already digitized. So you can actually get a lot of insights from all of this data, like, what is your attrition rate, why are people leaving, what is the biggest reason of people, and what is the average tenure of people who are working with you? Is it like 0 to 1 years, 1 to 3 years? If you are in 1 to 3 years, that's a norm. 3 to 5, 1 to 3, 3 to 5 is normal. Above 5 years, that means you're an excellent employer. People do not want to leave you. Or it could be the other way around also, that the kind of people that you have employed are probably at a stage that at the peak of their career, or plateaued on their career. So these are some very important insights that the data that you are recording from the system can give you. Even it can tell you about what is your Gen Z population like, and how many millennials do you have, because if you are having a higher number of users who are in the millennials or the Gen Z category, then your organizational policy should be like that. Like if you are hiring millennials or Gen Zs, then you should have a casual policy, and because these are the people who like to have more freedom, are good at work, but do not like policing and all. So accordingly, you can draft your policies, you can actually create those kind of workflows in place, right? So look for the reporting and dashboarding tool in the HRMS system, or that you would actually want to implement. This is another thing that's ensure your HRIS system also gives you a way to engage with employees rather than just manage it. So whatever I spoke about till now was about managing your employees, data, leave, exit, onboarding, etc. But engaging is basically having your surveys, net promoter scores, employee satisfaction surveys. You can actually upload in the system, do it from the system, like having intranet also in place, which allows people to also speak out, share ideas, comments, likes, etc. Right. And of course, mobility is also very important these days. You should be able to use it across devices, be it phone, be it tablet, be it your desktop. So that was a quick overview about what is an HRMS, what are the features and benefits, and what you should expect from having an HRIS system in place. So with that, Malvika, I would like to conclude my presentation. If there are any questions you would like to ask, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Sure, I think that made perfect sense. There was a lot of value added. I'm sure the members feel so as well. So we'll open it now to any questions that anybody might have. But I had received some questions before the session. So let me just go ahead and ask that while the other members post in theirs. So one member has asked, does HRMS software really integrate with other business tools and softwares that are commonly used by SMEs?
Yeah, there are, with the evolution of technology, integration is not a great deal these days. There are multiple ways of integration. APIs are available, then, you can do it via SFTPs, or even write RPAs and so on. So integration, honestly speaking, these days is not that big a deal, but and HRIS tools can integrate with all other, maybe your finance, maybe your operations management system.
In addition to that, Mr. Pritesh Modi has asked, does this software, is it already integrated with an accounting software, or is it possible?
It is possible. We have, if I talk about our tool, we have done integrations in past with multiple accounting softwares, be it SAP also, be it Intuit or QuickBooks or
Your voice is slightly low suddenly.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, maybe something to do with my mic. So what I was saying is, yes, this is possible, and our tool also has we've done integrations with multiple accounting packages. Like cloud-based ones really are helpful. There has been while we have done integration with Tally also in past, But Tally integration kind of depends a lot on how Tally has been implemented as well. Is it a cloud-based one? Is it on-prem? How was it? Which version is it? And so on. But if you're having something like a Intuit or Zoho Books or
So
SAP
they have
as well,
Zoho Books, they just replied.
yeah, that can be done.
Okay, great. Moving to the next question, I think this is from a lady, Nisha. What security measures are in place to protect sensitive HR data within an HRMS software for small businesses like ourselves?
So yeah, like with this new DPDP Act, Digital Data Protection Act, there is going to be a lot of stress on organizations also to ensure the data that they are collecting from their employees is safe and secure. Earlier, it was just considered to be an overhead for the bigger organizations. For smaller organizations, it was not that important, but the new act has a lot of restrictions in doing that. So having a system in place, of course, that is important, and ensuring the security. So you should actually check for whether if your HRIS tool is ISO and SOC 2 certified, that means it is kind of having a good they have taken care of the security. Now how are we also securing that? So at our end we have an option of so there is PII information that is being collected, personally identifiable information, which is your maybe the PAN card number, mobile number, etc. All of these are stored in an encrypted fashion on the database, and it is there is a lot of restriction also put in place, who can see it, who can access it, and so on. So we made our tool GDPR compliant, which inherently kind of made it compliant for DPDP as well, which is the new act that is going to come in, and you should also look for. And in addition to that, we did a certification for ISO and ISO 27001 to be very specific. You should actually look for that, because that kind of covers information security part as well. And SOC 2 certifications is just a plus. If that is SOC 2 certified, that means you can be dead sure about the security practices followed by the HRIs.
Absolutely. I think before we take on the next question, I'd like to tell all the members that, as I mentioned in the starting, there is an offer by Unova on GlobalLinker, where you can avail this service absolutely free of cost for 20 of your employees, first 20 of your employees, where the entire payroll management, leave management, everything is available. If you would like to avail of that, please drop me a message after the session and we'll be happy to enable it for you. I have put my contact details in the chat box so that you can reach out post the session. Now moving,
yeah, sorry, someone has asked on the chat. I'll just like to answer that as well. I think they're already using HRMS. I'm glad to hear. And the question is, I'll just answer how to ensure HR receives email notifications. So this is already pre-configured in the system. If you are facing any challenges, you can write to our helpline, which is helpdesk@unova.com. And the team will surely help you in case you are not able to receive the communications from the system, because by default the system sends out all these notifications, emails to managers in HR as well. So I've just pinged the email
I've
ID
sent
well.
it across. You actually sent it to the hosts. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Moving to the next question from again Mr. Pritesh Modi. He says, is banking integration available so that we can transfer salaries and perks to employees' bank account?
Yes. While we have already done direct integration with a few banks, like Yes Bank, etc., with the click of a button, you can disburse the salaries. There are tools that we've already integrated, which kind of help you, do it for other banks as well. And our system also has the option of generating the salary statement in the bank's prescribed format.
Sure.
So yeah, that's available.
There's a question from Mr. Sudhir Kokam. He says, there is any document management system available for the joined employees?
Yeah, we do have. So there is a complete pre-onboarding process wherein you can actually have documents also collected from the new joinees, be it their past salary slips, past offer information, etc. If it's an outstation employee or a foreign employee, the visa details, etc. All of this you can collect and have it stored inside the document management system, which is already available in a software.
That's amazing. That's pretty wholesome. So, are there any further questions before we kind of end the session? But before that, in case your question is unanswered and you still want to connect with our speaker today, I am going to put in his GlobalLinker profile where you can connect with him and engage for further discussions. Bhargavi is asking, is this possible to get timings with present or absent in attendance?
Yes, that's a basic feature readily available in the system, so that your entire attendance roster, which you might be managing on say Excel or manually, you don't need to do that. It can give you a monthly attendance output with absent, present, loss of pays, leaves, holidays, or even week offs and so on. It also calculates OT on the basis of your shifts.
And additionally, also where you're punching in from and where you're punching out from.
Right.
Yeah, sure. So it's nice to see that the users are asking very relevant questions. I think more and more people would want to start adapting or using HRMS platforms. Again, like I mentioned, if you'd like to avail of it, please drop us a message or an email stating that you want to avail Unova services on GlobalLinker, and we'll be happy to enable that. If there are any final questions, please do go ahead and ask the same. Can we pay TDS directly from the portal?
So the system allows you to create TDS export sheets, which because you have to then upload it to the Traces portal and pay the challans separately. So the system allows you to kind of supports you in doing this activity, though we are also working on as a part of our roadmap such that you can do this with a click of a button from the portal itself, but it is in roadmap at the moment.
Sure. I think Bhargavi has a very specific question which can be taken offline, unless you want to kind of answer that. She says it only shows P in attendance details, only it shows timings if we click on P.
Yeah, that's true, because I cannot show everything on one page. I have a 104 by 76, 74 by 768 screen only. So that's a part of UX. But in case Bhargavi, you have any further inputs or feedback, you can write to me also or write to helpdesk@unova.com, and our team will definitely help and support you in this regard.
Okay, great. So I think first of all, thank you, Vicky, for taking out time and helping all our members understand, one, the importance of an HRMS platform, and two, of course, how they can avail of your platform. So thank you for joining in. Thank you to all the members as well to take out 1 hour of your busy schedule to understand how this can really benefit you. We will also, in case you have any feedback on what is it that you'd like to hear in terms of in the HRMS space next time, please do drop a message in the chat box and we'll be happy to factor that in. We'll wait for a minute or so if any of you have any feedback, any comments, any queries. And like I said, any feedback on any other topic that you'd like to hear from us on the HRMS space. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining in, and thank you, Vicky, for actually engaging all our members in such a meaningful discussion.
You're welcome, Malvika. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.